What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. Two undefeated champions in the flyweight division square off this Saturday night from Glendale, Arizona. You got the IBF flyweight champion, Sonny Edwards, who has a record of 20 wins, 0 losses, 4 KOs, taking on the WBO flyweight champion, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, who has a record of 20 wins, 0 losses, 4 KOs. So somebody old must go. This is going to determine the top dog in the flyweight division. The winner of this fight, in my opinion, would deserve to be on the top 10 pound for pound list. A lot at stake for this particular matchup. Each fighter will be taking on the toughest opponent of his young career, and a lot of questions will be answered in this fight. This fight is for the hardcore boxing fans. Casual boxing fans ain't really thinking about this fight, but when you talk about hardcore boxing fans, they've been waiting on this matchup ever since it was finalized, featuring the guys that's going to be throwing a combined 200 punches per round. It's going to be a lot of action. This is the flyweight division. When you talk about the glamour divisions in the sport of boxing, you're talking about the heavyweight division, which carries the sport, in the welterweight division. Those two divisions have produced historic matchups throughout boxing history. And this fight, which is going to be campaigned in the flyweight division, that's 115 pounds, which don't draw a lot of attention. That weight class does not draw a lot of attention, don't have a lot of eyeballs that's going to be watching this fight. It's for the hardcore boxing fans, like I stated earlier. And ever since this fight was finalized, I've been very, very looking forward to this particular matchup. And again, somebody old must go. When you talk about Sonny Edwards reminds me of Prince Nassim Hamed. And unlike Sonny Edwards, Hamed was able to capture casual boxing fans' attention. He's one of the guys that transcended the sport, man. He was a big name and a big draw. Biggest win of his career was against Kevin Kelly. That fight took place on a Friday night, man. That was a great matchup, man. He had problems with Kevin Kelly, man. Kevin Kelly was the most skilled fighter that he had took on in his young career, but he was able to get the knockout and win that fight in dramatic fashion. Now, when he took on a guy that brought more to the table than Kevin Kelly, a guy that was very seasoned, a guy that was very skilled, a guy that had been in there with top-notch competition, a guy that go by the name of Marco Antonio Barrera, he got beat, and he got beat decisively. And in a lot of people's eyes, he got exposed. And some people are saying that's what's going to happen with Sonny Edwards when he takes on Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Now, I do believe Sonny Edwards is a more complete fighter than Prince Nassim Hamed. I think Sonny Edwards is more of a dog than Prince Nassim Hamed was. As he kind of waved that white flag against Barrera, he had no answers for Barrera's style, and he kind of went in the fetal position, which was a surprise to me, man, because I thought much more of him going into that fight than I thought after that fight. With all that being said, man, he's going to be taking on Jesse Bam Rodriguez, who's a southpaw fighter, great straight left hand, smart pressure fighter, great footwork, great uppercut, great in his style of fighting, very consistent in his style of fighting. He's going to be going against a guy that's, again, reminds me of Prince Nassim Hamed with a sprinkle of Roy Jones Jr., a guy that has very fast hands, keeps his hands at his waist, great head movement, great anticipation skills, knows how to control distance. Now, I don't know how big the ring going to be, but that's going to be a determining factor in this fight, man. If we're looking at a big ring, I don't know how the negotiations went. I don't know how big the ring is, because what people don't understand in the sport of boxing, you got different ring sizes. And it's all about the A side flexing. If you're a pressure fighter, you want a smaller ring. And if you're the A side, if you're a guy that likes to box and stay on the outside and use your footwork and control your opponent on the outside, you want a big ring. Both of these guys bring a lot to the table. I don't know who the A side is or who the B side. I would guess the B side is Sonny Edwards, because he's coming from the UK, fighting Bam Rodriguez in his home country of the USA. So maybe that being the case, he is the A side, that being Jesse Bam Rodriguez. I don't know, because I've seen a lot of other UK fighters come over here and not necessarily be the B-side, but they want to make their name, make their fame here in the Mecca of boxing, United States of America. No matter how many great wins and accolades you get over there in the UK, man, you must come over here to the US to establish yourself as far as creme de la creme in the sport of boxing. And that's what Sonny Edwards is attempting to do this Saturday night. In Glendale, Arizona, I think that venue hold around 3,000 fans. So it's going to be an intimate and exciting setting. It's going to be a raucous crowd. I think it's going to be a lot of buzz in the arena. And it's like I said, this fight is for the hardcore boxing fan. And man, I'm much looking forward to this particular matchup. And I think it's going to come down to which fighter can implement his style of fighting. I believe if both guys bring their A game to the square circle, I like Jesse Bam Rodriguez because I think he's been in there with a better competition. Sonny Edwards ain't fought nobody. Make no mistake about it. Even Hamed, he had fought Kevin Kelly before he got in there with Barrera. Sonny Edwards don't even have a Kevin Kelly on his resume. And I think that's going to be much to his demise in this fight Saturday night, man. I think he's going to be in the ring with a guy that levels above anybody he's been in the ring with before. And I think the same could be said for Bam Rodriguez. But at least Bam Rodriguez got a Carlos Cujas on his resume. He's been in there with some solid guys, man. He's been in there with Israel. He's been in there with some solid guys. Israel's better than anybody Sonny Edwards ever fought. And Carlos Cujas, who was a former world champion, is miles better than anybody that Sonny Edwards has fought thus far. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Now, that don't mean nothing now. You know, Cassius Clay hadn't fought nobody close to Sonny Liston. He schooled Sonny Liston. Sonny Liston had been in there with some big-time fighters, man, way better competition than Cassius Clay. But when he got in there with Cassius Clay, he had no answers, man. And he was a smart pressure fighter like Bam Rodriguez. He was a guy that was a complete fighter, had a good jab, just like Bam Rodriguez has a good jab. Bam got a real good jab, man. He's bringing the pressure, man. He's coming in behind the jab. He's not coming through the front door unannounced. That's what I see about fighters that just come in and ain't throwing no jab and just trying to get close and throw punches. And they get in there with a guy that knows how to control distance and knows how to establish the jab. They're lost. They're lost without a cause. You know what I'm saying? So we will see what happens. And we will see what transpires. Great matchup. I think that Sonny Edwards must establish the jab. He's a guy that is very, very flashy. Keeps his hands down. He overwhelms his opponent with his speed, anticipation skills, and he has decent power. Now, he's a switch hitter. He fights both southpaw and orthodox. I think he's a better boxer in the southpaw stance. I think he's got more power out of the orthodox stance. So it's going to be interesting to see how he approaches this fight. I think he's going to probably be doing a little bit of both, but what is he going to look to do more often in this fight? Fight out of southpaw stance or fight out of orthodox stance? I think when you fight a pressure fighter like a Bam Rodriguez, I think he's going to have to go more orthodox in my opinion. He's going to have to start sitting down on more of his punches, sit down on that right hand, jab to the body. And one thing that Sonny Edwards has a bad habit of doing is going straight back. And in a fight that he got dropped in, he got caught backing up, going straight back, and his opponent doubled up on the jab and followed him going backwards and caught him with a straight right hand and dropped him. And that's what Bam gonna be looking at do, but he's gonna be looking to do it out of southpaw stance. He's gonna be looking to double up on the jab, get Sonny Edwards to go straight back, and he's gonna look at the timing with the straight left hand and drop him. That's what him and his team, I know they saw that fight when they watched the video of several of his fights, and I know they're gonna be looking to implement that tactic. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. If Bam Rodriguez is able to close the distance, and if Sonny Edwards don't have enough power to get Bam Rodriguez respect, it's gonna be a long night for Sonny Edwards, man. Sonny Edwards has 4 KOs. That's the alarming thing when you look at his record. He's got 20 wins, no losses, but 4 KOs let me know that you got pillow fists. You don't have a lot of power. But one thing I did notice in this fight is his opponents were not throwing caution to the wind, letting their hands go. So he must have enough pop on his punch to get their respect. But again, the level of competition is so bad. I ain't gonna say bad. Anybody getting that square circle, you know, they're accomplished. They're an accomplished fighter. You know, you get your boxing license, man. You've been in the ring. You've had several fights and probably several amateur fights. You got to give credit where credit is due as far as that goes. But I just look at the fact that the guys he's been in the ring with just ain't on the level of even the guys that Jesse Bam Rodriguez has fought. The Carlos Cujas, like I stated earlier, the Israels. He's just been in there with better competition. He's going to be fighting in his home country. This is Sonny Edwards' I don't know if he's been over here and fought before, but definitely this first big fight over here in the U.S. It's going to be interesting to see how he handles this, man. But this guy's very, very confident, man. Very, very flashy. He fight a very confident style of fighting. When you got your hands to your waist, when you catch an opponent with the right hand and then drop your hands and they try to throw a shot and you just move your head and they miss, that's a very, very confident fighter, man. It's going to be interesting to see, man. One thing Bam likes to do is he's a guy that gives you different angles. He can be right in front of you. He can step to the left, step to the right, and still be punching at you, man. He's very, very good at that. And Sonny Edwards will look to embarrass you in the ring. He'll hit you with a right hand. You'll throw a punch. He'll duck it, and he'll walk away from you with his hand with his head down, not even looking at you, not even worried about you trying to land a punch, because he's just that great when we talk about anticipating his opponent throwing a punch and getting out of harm's way, man. He's very, very flashy, man. I've seen him embarrass his opponent, and basically when he does that, his opponent say, damn, this dude's just too good for me, man. I have no answer for this dude. I'm swinging at him. He's not even looking, and he's making me miss. He's hitting me, and when I try to punch, he's done a good job of punching with me, and he's getting to his shot off before I'm able to land my shot. And it's just very, very frustrating fighting a guy like that when you can't hit. Some guys like to get in the ring, and they rather get knocked out than get in the ring and get schooled for 12 rounds when they couldn't even touch their opponent, couldn't even land a solid shot on them. And that's what Sonny Edwards is able to do to his opponents. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But I like Jesse Bam Rodriguez to systematically break down Sonny Edwards. I think it'll start paying dividends early on when he start investing into the body. I think he's going to close the distance. I think he's going to land ferocious body shots. I think he's going to be able to jab his way to get closer and start landing those power shots. You got to understand, again, that Jesse Bam Rodriguez has fought at a high weight. He's moved back down to 115, but he's fought at high weight, so I think he's going to be the stronger guy in the ring. As Sonny Edwards, I don't think he's campaigning anything heavier than 115 pounds. I don't think he's fought above 115 pounds. And I think on fight night, I think Jesse Bam Rodriguez will be the naturally bigger guy, and it'll be up to Sonny Edwards to get his respect and control the fight on the outside. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But I think Bam's going to be able to establish that jab, get close, go to the body early on in the fight, systematically break down Sonny Edwards, and in the second half of the fight, I think he's going to start to punish Sonny Edwards. And it's going to be up to Sonny Edwards' ability to take a sustained beating, particularly in the second half of the fight. If he's able to take that, maybe Bam Rodriguez wins the decision. If he's not able to take that and hold up, I can see a late stoppage for Bam Rodriguez. Either way, I like Bam Rodriguez to win this fight, either by decision or late stoppage. I'm going to go on lean toward a late stoppage against Sonny Edwards, because I just think the lack of quality opponents on Sonny Edwards is going to really hurt him in this fight, man. I don't think he's going to be able to hold up over a 12-round affair against the ferocious, tenacious physicality of Jesse Bam Rodriguez. So we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. But both guys have great footwork. So that's another thing that Sonny Edwards is going to be new to in this fight, man. He's been fighting a lot of flat-footed fighters, guys that bring pressure, but that flat-footed got to be set to punch, and that's not going to be the case with Bam Rodriguez, man. He's able to come in behind the jab, and he's able to be light on his feet while bringing pressure, man. I think that's going to cause problems for Sonny Edwards. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Very, very exciting fight. Very, very good matchup. It's, again, for the hardcore boxing fans. This whole weekend gonna have some good fights, man. We got Jake Paul fighting tonight against Andre Alkis. This will be the second real boxer that Jake Paul will be taking on. He's been fighting a lot of former UFC fighters, a lot of guys that are well past their best, and he's able to get victories over those guys. Now, when he did fight a true boxer in Tommy Fury, he lost a split decision. Very competitive fight, though, by Jake Paul. Was able to drop Tommy Fury in that fight, but ultimately he was outboxed and lost a split decision. So this is the second time he'll be fighting a boxer. I don't think August is as good as Tommy Fury. I think Tommy Fury is a better boxer. Now, August might have more power, but August is slow, man. I've seen some videos of him. He's very, very, very slow. I've never seen him fight live. I ain't never heard of the guy before, man. He's not been in any big fights. I don't even think he's been in any fights as far as, you know, you got a big fight and you got strong undercard fights. I don't think he even been on them type of cards. So this guy's been in the shadows. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the shadows, and he's coming out the shadows, and he's looking to upset the apple cart and pull out a victory that would be by far the biggest victory of his career. And we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But that's going to be going down tonight. And then we got the co-main events. We got Shadasia Green taking on Big Mama Cruz DeZern. I'm probably going to do a video on that fight there, man. I'm going to break down that fight, man. I'm not going to talk about that fight in this video. I'm going to break down that fight. I'm not going to break down the Jake Paul fight, man, because, again, I have never seen that guy August fight, but on these, I see some videos, some clips of him fighting, so I don't really feel comfortable, breaking down that fight. But from what I've seen, the guy is slow, and he's got decent power, man, but he's too slow. He don't have the footwork to beat Jake Paul, and he's actually a smaller guy, man. Jake Paul's gonna run right through him, man, being a more physical and a bigger guy, man. And you got a guy that's slow, and I think Jake Paul actually gonna have the faster hands. It ain't like Jake Paul fast, but he got faster hands than August from what I done seen. So I'm looking for him to knock him out. Now Jake Paul is predicting that he's gonna knock this guy out in the first round, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if that transpires, man, because August, maybe he got the heart and the will to take the shots that Jake Paul gonna dish out, and that maybe will enable him to see the final bell of the final round. But I doubt it, because again, this guy is slow, and then this guy is the smaller guy, man. I think August probably, man, he's probably, from what I look at him, man, he look like more of a super middleweight, a light heavyweight, and Jake Paul is like a cruiserweight. So you got two guys in two different weight classes, in my opinion. And you got a guy that's slow going against a guy that's got the power advantage and the bigger guy, and actually got a little bit more speed than a guy that's smaller than him. This is a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Who you like in this particular matchup? Do you like Sonny Edwards, or do you like Jesse Bam Rodriguez? I like Rodriguez by late stoppage. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Who you like in this particular matchup? Follow me on Facebook, Gerard Briscoe. Like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. And I holla.